Hello crafters! Today we're going to create an interesting kind of horoscopic inspired poster, if you will, out of acrylic paint. A lid, plate will do too. You will need some brushes, a sponge for the paint, somewhere where you can mix the colors in, and a pencil. Let's begin. So first step would be to take our lid or a plate, position it slightly in the lower part of your canvas, because at the top we want to write our sign or horoscope sign. So place it kind of nicely in the center. The lid should be, or the plate should be, smaller than your canvas so that you can create a nice circle. Trace it. So now what I want to do is I want to write Aquarius somewhere over here, but roughly try to estimate how the sign will go. So the first thing we need to do is we need to take our black small brush and black paint and start to go inside, outlining our circle, but only paint the black inside the circle. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna gently, with my brush and black paint, go over the Aquarius sign. The brush needs to be fairly thin and pretty watery. This will allow for easier application. So now that it's a little drier, I'm gonna go over my letters. And this time I'm going to thicken up the only vertical lines. Thicken them up a little bit. And now just blackening, making our smaller lines, our diagonal lines, blacker and sharper. Okay, I'm happy with how the typography turned out. Now we're gonna go on to use our sponge to create a little bit of interesting sky universe look inside our circle, our planet. So for now, first one is gonna be purple. Pour it onto your palette. It's best if your sponge a little wet, not too wet, just a little bit. And start dipping it in. I sometimes like to test it on just like a side paper to see the quality. Yeah, like it. It's very nice. Not too much paint, guys, right? So now let's go in. Don't go outside of the circle, of course. That's why we have our nice black line, black outline. So I'm gonna leave this part black because I want the purple only in this area. Great. Now let's have some blue. Here's the blue. I'm just gonna use the other side of my spongy. Hopefully your purple and blue starts to blend. If they don't, you can blend them intentionally with your sponge and start going with this kind of mixed color. Nice. Now I do want to bring back some of that black that I had around. So with the purple side, because black is just gonna heat up the purple, and on the corners let's get the black back, but only around the corners, around the edges of our globe. Starting to look pretty great. I want to bring back a couple of more light blue over here, and maybe even a little bit of more purple. I'm gonna clean all of this now. Okay, so now with the clean spongy, it's slightly wet, so that's great. I'm gonna get the blue Go into the black a little bit, mix the colors. It's great that they are mixing, that's what we want. Go back from the other side into the purple. Get more purple in here. Take your white color and wet your brush. Take a fairly thick brush and with long bristles. Wet it and then dip it into your white. Mine white is pretty liquidy, which is great. If your white is not very liquidy, please dilute it with some white, mix it on the palette. I'm just gonna go straight from the bottle. So I have white on it, and by pulling the brush onto yourself, the brush will actually not splatter you, but should splatter down. So let me zoom in. So nice amount of paint. Start pressing on the brush and press it so that it goes towards you, but all of the paint actually goes down. Lots of stars in a certain area. Select maybe over here and have a lot more stars versus in the other places. For the next step, I want to take small brush, get it in black, and do a secondary outline around our globe. If this is too hard for you, you can skip this part. This is just a decorative outline around the circle. By the way, the line does not need to be absolutely perfect. It can be slightly thicker and thinner in certain areas. It actually gives it a bit of a charm. So here it is, not perfect, but I really like how strange it is, how it goes thicker and thinner. It looks really nice and handmade. So what you need to do now is we want to put a really cool star symbol of your corresponding horoscope sign. So for me it's Aquarius, so I looked it up and this is my sketch of how the star symbol looks like. And I'm going to try to recreate it right inside our nice circle over here. To do that, you need a fairly light yellow. So this yellow, it's called daffodil yellow. It's already pretty light. I have a feeling, yes, it's already pretty light. So I don't need to really add white to this, but if your yellow is bright, you might need to add white to it so that it shows up on such a dark background. You might also need to go with white first and then add yellow on top so that it's showing up, that your icon is showing up really nicely. So let's start. I'm gonna start drawing out the dots for the larger stars. So I have it mapped. Now the hard part, and yes, it will be a little bit of a challenge, is to actually do the stars. So of course, better to do the big stars first. Get a hang of it so that you can do the smaller stars, which will be harder. I took a toothpick pretty much, and I'm gonna try to do it, the small stars with the toothpicks. Maybe it's easier. Definitely easier. I suggest you guys try it with a toothpick. I'm gonna let these dry and then go over with yellow again. So I'm happy with my stars. I'm gonna now connect the lines. So there's a line over here. If it's easier for you to do it with the brush, please go ahead and do it with the brush. Okay, so the inside is looking amazing. I'm so happy with how it is. All I'm gonna do is add the same yellow into the Aquarius using my brush. So maybe let's go on the right side of the vertical lines, just for a little bit of color interest. So here it is, my Aquarius sign. Very happy with how it turned out. Please try your own sign, or if you're Aquarius, please copy my sign. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do try it yourself, please show me how it turned out. I love seeing your work, either here in the comments on YouTube or on Instagram. Thank you. Bye.